Hello everyone, Sagayote here, and I did a countdown for the top 20 best discipline powers of Vampire the Masquerade that are level 1. Why? Because I've been wanting to play this Vampire again, join a new game, but I'm already in 3 other games, and each game is a 4-hour commitment per week, and I just don't have that time. So I started to do a list. You know, what better way to avoid getting sucked into something than submerge yourself into its better mechanics? Some people have told me that's how they stopped with, eating a lot of sugar because they saw what it does to the body, but I don't know if it's working for me. And as a caveat for this, I just want to say that these are just strictly level 1 abilities, and that's very important because, like, say level 1 Bond Famulus, which is animalism, and it's the 20th spot on this list because you get to ghoul an animal that, lives a little bit longer and heals a little bit better. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love my dogs. If there was a way I could take, if it was a list of powers I would want in real life, this might be number 1 because you have your dog with you for as long as you are. Number 19 is resilience, and this is the level 1 fortitude power. You just get an extra meter in your health. You can survive a little bit more damage. It's like an umbrella. It's better to have and not need than need and not have. 18 is Celerity Discipline 1, Cat's Grace, and you succeed automatically on balance checks. I mean, for some characters, like you're playing an assassin or a cat burglar, or somebody who does a lot of parkour and who needs to traverse city skylines and walk on tight ropes and stuff, I can see that being useful. Number 17 is Protean level 1, Light as a Feather. And there's a little, something that bothers me about this discipline. But let me do the pros and positions and all that first. So Light as a Feather, it decreases your weight. It's good for fall damage. It's good for dealing with traps based on pressure. But my issue with this, personally think that Light as a Feather is a more powerful ability than Feral Claws, or at least a harder ability to do. Feral Claws is a level 2 protein power where it just kind of like sticks, you create knives out of your fingers, which granted it's a lot of flesh moving around, but Light as a Feather, you're dealing with atoms, you're messing with density. I think that ability should be higher, even though it's not as useful as Feral Claws. It's more complicated for the person to do. Number 16 is Lethal Body. You can hurt humans a lot with this. Any vampire is going to be able to defeat most any human in a single hand-to-hand, but I can see this being useful. I've seen this being useful for swarms of humans. But at the same time, it's more of a, you're going to need it for a lot of human type situation because it only works on humans. 15 is Discipline level 1 for Dominate. It's compel. You get somebody to do something. It's got to be something simple. Like, you can't say, activate this computer or tell me what happened the night of so-and-so because that takes too much brain power. You basically get people to do things like run, scream, walk around. You can have them jumping jacks, sleep, I think. I don't know if insomnia has something to do with it. Like, if the person's in insomniac and then you tell them to sleep, will they fight it? If they can't, I don't know. I've never seen that come up. But the point is, you can get somebody to do something really simple. Number 14 is the second Animalism Discipline level 1, and that's Sense the Beast. And in some games, you deal a lot with, well, what the hell is this thing? And Sense the Beast, it lets you kind of sense a supernatural portion individual, and you can save some time in there. Number 13 is Cloak of Shadows. And Cloak of Shadows is you get still, you put something over you, and people can't see you, which I know that's how things traditionally are. It can come in handy, but the thing I like most about this ability, though, is it's the only obfuscate ability that kind of defeats Auspex. Like, if you're traveling to somewhere and there's some Auspex users, you hold it up in like a blanket or a cape or get behind the curtains, and they can't detect you. Number 12 is a Thin Blood Alchemy, and it's Haze. The good thing about Haze, though, is you can use it on the move. The bad thing about the Haze is you do not blend in at all. The good thing about the Haze is that, even though you don't blend in, you're covered in like a fog or a haze or a smoke, so people can't really make out your identity, and if they're shooting at you, it's going to be just a little bit harder. 11 is Obfuscate ability Silence of Death, and this one, it's a little bit better because it goes more to you having a plan and working with it, as opposed to, Haze, which is what you do if a plan doesn't work and you just need to get out of there quick. Silence of Death means you can neutralize a lot of sounds you make. You can move while using it, not very fast, but you can move. There's no danger of like a creaking board, and alerts the guards. Number 10 is Eyes of a Beast. This is a Protean level 1 ability, and I don't understand how all vampires don't have this ability. So Eyes of the Beast does 2 things. One, it makes your eyes glow and scary. So you can use it for intimidation, so it's mortals. So it gives you that little bit of edge when you're alone with a human being and you need him to understand what kind of situation he's in. And the second thing is it lets you see in the dark. Really, really well, high definition see in the dark. Not sure how any vampire does not have this. They should all have this. Number 9 is a level 1 ability that lets you be scary. Presence. You activate it, and people find you more, I don't want to say repulsive, but more daunting. It's good for intimidations, and it's probably the best stealth-based ability. Think about it. You're walking into an office, you're not supposed to be there, but you walk in with confidence, and you turn on dawn, so people don't want to look at you, nobody wants to be responsible for it, and you just go walking right in. Number 8 is Soaring Leap, and that's just because the way my mind works is the ability to jump pretty high just comes in handy. Like, you need to escape, you jump high. You need to reach something, you jump high. You need to do a good tactical maneuver, you jump high. I like jumping high. Could be that I've been watching some videos on the Hulk that made me like this a lot. Number 7 is an ability from Thin Blood Alchemist, Far Reach. And basically, you get a ghost hand. It's not a super strong ghost hand, but it can, grab stuff, and it's just an elongated ghost hand. Number 6 is heightened senses, and this is the first Auspex ability we're seeing on this list. And you have heightened senses. You want to try listening in on somebody from a different room, activate Auspex. You're trying to see somebody from a distance, activate Auspex. You think that there's some kind of chemicals in the room, activate Auspex. You think someone's going to try and sneak up on you, or you're being followed, activate Auspex. Hear the footsteps, hear the grass moving, hear the breathing. The one issue with this, and I kind of like this because I think this is a cool built-in weakness, is there could be like a flash of light and that'll mess you up. There could be a super loud bang that'll mess you up. So you become more of a radar. It's got one issue. I have one issue with heightened senses. Number 5 is rapid reflexes. The only way you can dodge gunfire. Number 4 is cloud memory, and you can erase a few moments back of something that happened. Which, I mean, we're all human, playing as vampires who make mistakes. Cloud memory just gives you a bit of leeway to avoid that. Simple. Number 3 is Fortitude level 1, Unswayable Mind. What this does is you become a very stubborn individual. You could have a great plan and everything, but your character can be convinced of something and it'll just screw you up. It's like rapid reflexes, but the social combat and social things come up so much more often that you really want to be able to say, hey, no, my character's not going to do that. They're too stubborn. Number 2 is Awe. It's a presence level 1, and it's basically Daunt's angelic cousin. You become more likable. You become more convincing. Your charisma goes up. It's so much better than Compel because you get people to want to help you. It works in groups. You can get them to give you information that you wouldn't be able to get. They'll open their computer and hand it to you. And number 1 is Sense Unseen. Sense Unseen, you can see invisible stuff. Now, granted, it's not going to be as likely as the social stuff such as Unswayable Mind and Awe, but when you need it, you're going to need it. I mean, I'm talking from personal experience. I cannot tell you how many times I've got hit by a ward and run into a wall. So yeah, Sense Unseen, it's such a pain to live without. You can get around not having good charisma. You can get around not having Unswayable Mind. You can get around not being able to dodge gunfire. But without the ability to see things that you just can't detect, that's it. It's a wall and you're just stuck there. That was my countdown on my top 20 disciplines. Let me know what you think. What's your list? What do you think's higher? What do you think on my list? I would love to hear it in the comment. Until next time, this is Sagayote signing out. Bye.